Hello everyone, I'm Suman. I'm a research scientist in Deeped, Western Australia, and I work mostly with system modeling, and one of them is APSIM modeling. For some time, I've been working with APSIM, and many people come and have a chat with me about APSIM or how they can build simulation for their experimental sites and so on. There is not much information available in the APSIM websites about how to use AppSim software. So I thought it would be beneficial to people who are uh, really looking to use AppSim. And so this is my first video on AppSim, and I'll start from very basics with like elementary AppSim. And so all you can see is AppSim web page. So when you go to Google and search AppSim, it will open a AppSim main page. So APSIM is a agricultural system modeling and simulation that software where where it will simulate the interaction between soil, climate, crop, and management information to predict agricultural system. So that is APSIM. And so you will find all the information about APSIM in this APSIM homepage. So if you check all these pages, it tells us about what is AppSim and what are the things that you can do in AppSim and all the informations, all the development work that is going on in AppSim and improvements and everything. So today I will start from bare basic. As I already told you, what is AppSim? AppSim is a like a short form, and its extended form is Agricultural Production System Simulator. I can say that it is a framework, or it is a modular framework that integrates multiple model including soil, crop, weather, and so on. Mostly APSIM is used by the researchers, students, and consultants to predict crop growth, yield, water use, and nitrogen dynamics. And it is also used to assess management information like planting dates, cultivar, fertilizer, and irrigation rates. And also APSIM can be used to run a long-term simulations for like to calculate or to simulate long-term risk and climate scenario analysis. So I already showed you where to find information about AppSim and all the informations that is available in AppSim. So I will show you few couple of things. The first thing is when you search AppSim, it will open a home page that has some newly paper published, new news about AppSim related news will be available in this page. And if you want to download AppSim, just hit download AppSim, and where you will go through all this page, and here is option available, download or upgrade AppSim. And here all you have to do is you have to give your email address and hit OK. After that, it will give you some couple of informations about here. So which AppSim? So the important thing here is AppSim is available in two versions. One is AppSim Next Generation and other one is AppSim Classic. So whichever you want to download, just click there. So I'll show you how to download AppSim Next Generation. And there are very latest version of AppSim available, and it is available in 3 different forms: Windows, MacOS, and Linux. So sometimes what happens is all these newly available version may not work, or they may not be stable. So you have to, if the latest version does not work, then you have to go and check other versions and other versions, and it will work. And what I found is most of the versions work for Windows, but they are will have always problem with when we download for the macOS version. So you have to find out some stable version for macOS, Mac, and that's how to download versions. And if you have used like couple of years ago and you don't know if you want to use the same versions now, then you have to hit here, like let's check out for 100 versions, and you have to select which release number you want to select, and then download that particular version you want to download. And if you, so in AppSim, when you go to AppSim, there is some documentation in AppSim. No, let's not go there. In AppSim next generation, go to model documentation and go to model documentation, where here you will find all the information about all the models. And if you want to, if you are looking for something specific, let's say wheat model, when you click wheat, it will show you all the information related to wheat, and there are some validation data sets that was used for wheat model, sensibility interface, and all the information particularly related to that model. And so AppSim always maintains its GitHub page, which is AppSim initiative, and there are multiple repositories which are like apsimx, which is the important one. If you click apsimx repositories, sometimes what happens is if you have some issue with AppSim, and you can raise your issue here, and then it will be checked by the AppSim team to fix that error or bug, or you can suggest some of the changes, or you can even participate in code development or model development for AppSim. Yes, so these are the things that you can do in AppSim website. And another one important thing is when you go to AppSim page, when you go to AppSim interface, when you open AppSim, sometimes what does people want to do is they want to build their own AppSim, and they want to use it. So what you can do is open AppSim page, go to AppSim next generation, go to installation, go to macOS installation, and here it will give you all the information how to build AppSim and use custom built version of AppSim. So this is another way of installing AppSim in your computer. So okay, so this is the few things that you can do in AppSim website, but today I will focus on AppSim next generation, because so we do have a two version, as I said, AppSim Classic and AppSim Next Generation. So AppSim Classic version is old AppSim. I would say old AppSim. So no more important developmental work is, our new version will be released in AppSim Classic. I think the last version was AppSim Classic 7.10. That was the last version, and after that no more new versions are released for AppSim Classic. And so nowadays all the work is focused on AppSim next generation, and new work development and everything is done in AppSim next generation. So today I will focus on AppSim next generation. So if you ask me about the difference between AppSim Classic and next generation is really fast. It can handle large simulations, and it is pretty much built in same language, like one language, programming language, like C#, something like that. Again, I guess it's C# language. So now what I want to do is, today I will show you how to use AppSim next generation software. So I have already installed AppSim next generation, which now I would like to open here. Let's open here. Oh yeah, so when you open AppSim next generation, this is how it will open. And here what you can see is, so these are the AppSim files that has been already opened, like history log. But today I will show you one simple example AppSim, that is, so here when you click in open an example, so these examples are already in AppSim software. When you install AppSim software, these examples will be always there. So this is inbuilt examples. So today I will open wheat simulation model. So in wheat simulation model, when you open the simulation, it looks like this, and when you click simulation, it will have a different models. It will have a different component to build the model will be shown, like a clock information, summary. So I will walk through each of these components today, and just to introduce you about a simple simulation. So this is how simulation is. So this is an inbuilt one. So if you want to build a new model from the scratch, you can do that. But it when you open it from example, when you take an example as a like a baseline, it will save lots of time. But if you want to add a model, all you can do is right click, and there is add model, and you have to select everything from these options available, and then you have to choose everything that you want to add in this simulation. But I would always recommend you to use an example to save your time. So here inside simulations, all the component goes inside simulation. So here the first component is a clock. So this clock is basically about when do you want to start the simulation and when do you want to end the simulation. So here we are, so example is set up for 100-year simulation from 1900 to 2000. And here is summary component. So summary has nothing in here now. So this summary is basically when you run the simulation and what happened. So it will list everything like a daily basis, what's going on, how much fertilizer did you apply, when did crop germinate, when it is sown, when did you apply irrigation, and all that information will be given here. So we will check on this summary component later. So moving forward, here is another component, that is weather. So in weather, here is already one file is already there, which is Dolby. So Dolby is a place in New South Wales. So this is a met file from Dolby, and it will, so this met file will show you that's a long-term average data for years, for 100 years. So there is a rainfall data and there is a temperature data, and based on the monthly average. And if you go to data, so it will shows you the whole data, the weather data. So I can see that weather has a radiation, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, rainfall, pen evaporation. So these are the few. So radiation, maximum temperature, minimum temperature, and rain. So these four things has to be here in weather met file. Otherwise it will not work properly. And so this is a rainfall data. So if you want to check every year, like a single year data, so this is a 1900 years data. If you want to go for just 1 year, if you want to check 1 year data, this is for 1901 data. If you want to go for 2 years average, that's 2 years data. This 3 years data, this is how you can check all the years data. Here is a monthly average data for 1901, and that's average of 3 years. So here this is a 1 year data. That's the temperature, maximum temperature and minimum temperature, and that's radiation. So what happens if you want to have your own data sets? So if you have a met file, what you can do is browse here, and you can, so for example here are, so this is the inbuilt and which is already in APSIM software. So let's say Gatton. So now we have a Gatton met file. This is a weather file. And sometimes what happens is, if you don't have any weather file or you want to download weather data for your station, then all you can do is download weather, give it, so you have to provide latitude and longitude and place name, and you have to add your email address here, and you can select date from when to when you want the data, and you have to save it in somewhere. After that you can, so, and you have to also choose here silo data, and NASA power data. So if you are international and not based in Australia, all you can do is you can download the NASA power data. But if you are in Australia, you can use silo data, or or there is another way of getting weather data as well. So if you can get weather data and into this format, so in website you will find information about how to convert Excel sheet into weather met file. And all you can do is download your own data from any place, any country, or any site, and then convert it into .met file, and then you can upload here. That's how it would work as well. And here is another component, which is soil arbitrator. So this is a just a component. You don't have to worry about it much, because when you build simulation, it will be automatically here. So what does this component will do in the simulation is, when you plant crop, there will be multiple crop in the field. So all the crops needs to supply equal amount of nutrients and fertilizer and water that is available in the soil. So these components will equally divide those resources to all the plants. So that's how this component will do, and you don't have to do anything in this component. It's just for information. And here is microclimate. If you know microclimate, you can edit it. If you don't know, you can just leave it as it is. And now, so these are the general components. Now we have another component, that is a field. So here, field basically represent our site. When you click this, you can enter all the informations if you have. If you don't have, just leave it as it is. And then what you do is, the first component is, okay, I would like to start from component soil. The first component is soil component. So here there is already one soil profile data from Tomba. Okay, let's put it just like this. So if you have all this information, just supply all this information. If you don't have, so you have to get all this information for your site. And here there is a physical soil. So this physical represent physical soil properties, like a soil texture, bulk density, year dry value, crop lower limit, drain upper limit, saturation, soil water, conductivity, and crop specific soil hydraulic properties like lower limit, root extraction, and KL and XF factor, because these are important to predict soil plant available water capacity. And here, so this is a wheat simulation, so that's why we have a wheat soil. So as I already showed, that is in the physical, that soil is crop specific soil hydraulic properties, and you need to supply this information as well. And another component is soil water. So you don't have to change much of the things in soil water. If you have information, you can add here. Another is soil organic model. Soil organic model has carbon, soil carbon nitrogen ratio, fresh biome, inert material, fresh organic material information. So you have to provide all these informations. Another one is soil chemical properties. Soil chemical properties, you have to provide all this information except nitrate and this NH4 information, ammonium information. So this represent NO3 is nitrate nitrogen, and this is ammonium nitrogen. So you cannot edit anything in here, because there is separate component for nitrate and ammonium where you will provide all this information. And then you supplied pH, electrical conductivity, and ESP, sodium percentage. And another one is water. So here you have to supply, so this is the soil initial water that you need to, so when you are trying to simulate a field, you need to supply initial soil information, because this is very important. And here this is a model, so you don't have to do anything for this. This is just the nutrient model. Here you will supply nitrogen information. Here you will supply ammonium nitrogen. If you have urea information, you can provide it here. If you don't, just leave it like that. Temperature, you don't need to do anything here. All right. And in this case, if you want to delete some of the variables, you can do it. But for now, we'll just keep it. Okay, leave it. We'll just leave it. And now, after we finished soil module, we will go into, so we'll come to this report later. So here we have got fertilizer. This is just the fertilizer module, so you don't have to do anything to this, or you cannot do anything to this module. Here is another module, surface organic matter. So this represents the initial surface organic matter in the field. So here, which crop was sown, which was the previous crop, you should specify here. and you can select the different crops you have and what is the initial surface residue available in the soil, and you can provide this information. And here we have wheat module. So this is a wheat module. If you so we can see here, it looks like we cannot do anything, but we can look at everything in this module. So all you have to do is right click and click show module structure and then open it. So here it will give you all the information about soil phenology, structure, uh, grains, root, and there are all the cultivars that is available in APSIM for wheat. So there are some varieties from New Zealand, Australia, and some preliminary under development. And if you want to add some of the varieties, all you can do is you can also add cultivars in here. So when you want to add cultivars in here, all you have to do is, let's look at this. So when you, so this is the, let's say X. So X is a wheat cultivar in Australia. So here, this is all the phenological informations. So when you have all these informations for your cultivar of your choice, and then after that you can add cultivar in here. So that's how wheat module is. And then there are some management module, like here the first one is sow using a variable rule. So when you click this, it will give you which crop you want to sow. I want to sow wheat crop. So here you have only wheat option, because when inside soil you just add inside physical there is only wheat. If you had couple of crops or and there is one, and here is we have only one module, that's why we have only one option. If you have 2 or 3 crops here, like in the rotation or continuous simulation, then you will have all the option when you add model here. So if you want to add other crops or modules here, all you can do is go to field, right click, add module. So there is one PMF, this plant modular framework, and from here all you can do is add different module, let's say potato. And now we have a potato in here, and if you go to show different crop, now you have potato option, but we don't want potato here, so we'll remove it. So when do you want to sow crop? 1st of May, and end of sowing window, that's 10th of July. And this is all this information, you can put it here, cultivar, sowing date. So when you have a wheat crop, it will give you all the varieties that is available in APSIM. For when you add variety, that will also should appear here. And sowing depth, row spacing, and plant population per meter square. That's the first module. If you want to do or make changes in this script or its visualization, all you can do is script is available here. So this is a C# language. You can edit this. If you know about this script, you can change it based on your preference. And the second module is fertilize at sowing. So which crop you want to fertilize, that's wheat. Which fertilizer you want to apply. So in APSIM, nitrogen module works, but rest of the other fertilizer module may not work. It mostly does not work. It will only work with the nitrogen. And how much fertilizer you want to apply. Similarly, here is a script, you can change it. Another module is harvest module. Which crop you want to harvest, that's wheat. So if you have multiple crops, it will show you all those options and you can choose it from there. And you can also, so here one important thing I want to focus is when, so harvest module, basically we have a wheat module here, and wheat always have physiological maturity. When it reaches its physiological maturity, that means it's harvesting time, the module will automatically harvest the crop when you specify scripts like this. But also you can specify like, because in the reality farmer will harvest their crop in particular date, right? So in that case you can modify this script and say, okay, I want to harvest in this particular date, then it will harvest your crop in that particular date. And another one, the last one is report. So report is what you want from this simulation as output. So here are multiple things. For example, if you don't have anything like this in here, now you want to put it here, all you have to do is go here. So let's say I want above ground weight. Double click it, it will give you above ground weight, right? And then if you want to go for the next one, what do you want? Another one. So let's say I want yield, it will give you yield. And similarly, if you want, so what you want here is, let's say I want it end of day, that is a daily simulation, and then you can save the simulation. So when you save the simulation, all you have to do is you have to save the simulation. So for now I will save it in APSIM videos introduction session. Let's not put it here as a wheat, WHEAT, wheat. Save it. So that's all under so here I don't see any, oh sorry, I don't see any irrigation module here, but in your case, if you want to add irrigation module, go to field, add a module, and you can do this way, or go to home, there is a management toolbox, and in here there is irrigate, right? And then copy it and then paste it here in the field. Now you have a irrigation module as well, but in our case we don't want any irrigation module, so we'll just remove it. So when you run this simulation, so let's run this simulation. So here I can see that there is error in running simulation, could not find a match for soil temperature. So because we delete the soil temperature module from soil, so what I'll do is let's go to, sometimes it happens when you go to example, go to wheat, from simulation go to field. So this type of error always comes in APSIM, so you have to figure out, Control C and then paste it here. Now save it and then run the simulation. So it says sorry, so it says we don't have, oh sorry, weather information does not have weather data from 1900, because initially there was a Dolby, so Dolby has data for 100 years data, but we changed it, so now it should work. Look, now the simulation is running for 100 years. Okay, that's done. Now go to graph. Okay, graph is, let's check the data store first. So data, when you run the simulation, all your data will be stored in data store, because we run here on daily basis, so it has a daily basis information. But when you go to graph in series, go to report, clock today, that's fine. Let's click it here. Now look at the data. Or let's do like this, in clock make it like 1995. Let's run it for only 5 years. Go to simulation, run, and let's check the graph. Look at this. Now we have this information, right? And if you want to add, so this is yield, right? So we can rename it, I can rename it as a yield, and then we can add can add another module, and we can say as biomass. Let's put it there, biomass, and then here we can say that. And then also you can change the color of the graph. Let's say put it like a dash, diamond, color is this one. Now look at this. So now we have 5 years data, and that's the yellow one is the biomass, and this one is the yield for 5 years. This is how APSIM simulate the crop. And yeah, so this is the simple simulation we can run in APSIM. And here today I show you how to use example inbuilt simulation and modify the simulation a little bit. So from now on, every week I'll try to add videos about APSIM and I will progress. So this is a very introductory video. I will progress and I will try to move on with the more advanced and advanced and advanced. That's how I will show you from now on. Thank you.